It was a great travelling support, but an even better 3 points last Saturday away at Brighton. How delighted were you?
Yeah, absolutely thrilled. Really pleased that we could send our fans home happy. The noise from the away end was brilliant, and just a little bit envious I couldn't be in the middle of it really. So I was standing there all alone, but listen, I had a job to do, and it was a good win for us, and pleased with the second half performance especially.
You had a number of changes imposed on you because of suspensions and injury. Can you give us an update on where you are, A, with the injury situation, and then B, Dan Burn obviously is fit for selection?
That's right. Dan had a one-match ban that he had to sit out for, so he's back available for us. Still, the long-term injuries that Tim Hoogland, Jesse Jorinen and Fernando, none of them are obviously close to fitness still, so they'll all definitely be out. The other injury news, Adam Taggart's progressing really well. Very, very pleased with him, and he's looking quite sharp, and obviously missed a lot of football, a lot of time out, so we need to build him up, but he's been very pleasing to see how well he's done. So overall we're in a pretty good place at the moment, and strong squad to pick from for the game against Watford.
There weren't many loan movements in terms of incomings during the period of the Football League loan, but you did bring in Seko Fofana, who had a real impact when he came on in the second half of the game. Yeah,
he did. I thought he did very well. He's a player who I know well from having played against Man City under 21s with our boys, and it was interesting. I remember the encounter as well, and I remembered Seko very, very well, because him and Lasse Christensen were really going head to head against each other, and it was a real good battle in certainly two of the games that I remember very well. So again, he's someone who I knew from having seen him with my own eyes, witnessed him playing against our good young players. The guys at Man City I know well, so I spoke to them about him as well. Did all our research, because I'm one of these. I'd rather not get anyone in than get the wrong person. If we bring someone in to this football club, during my tenure, it's someone who we're pretty sure is going to add real good value to the squad and to the club.
As we approach January, you will get asked continually the questions about transfers and targets and positions, but it's very much, unless you think you get the right person that's the right fit, both personality and from a football perspective, you're happy with what you have currently. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, as always, if you can get someone who's going to make you better, you'd be silly not to bring them in if it's doable. But we've got a good squad, which I'm very pleased with, and I feel sort of like a loyalty towards the players. The players are here at the moment, and they're working their socks off for the football club, which is brilliant, and we've got a lot of quality within the ranks as well. So it's for me to be convinced that someone's better than what we've got, and to do that, they've got to be a real good player and a real good character. Seko is certainly that, and we've only seen a little bit of him in game time at the moment, the Fulham fans, but they'll be seeing a lot more of him.
But so he'll be featuring for you, do you think?
Yeah, I wouldn't have dreamt about bringing him in if he wasn't going to get good game time with us. And I said that to the guys at Man City. And they wouldn't have loaned him out if they thought otherwise. They've been fantastic about it, City, the way they've done it, and my dealings with them have been excellent, and they're very happy and very confident that he's in good hands with us, which obviously I'm convinced of that as well. So I think it's a great move for him, and it'll be a really good acquisition for us.
Watford travel tomorrow night on the back of a few poor results. What are you expecting from them? How much have you watched them and looked at them?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of footage of them. I mean, they've been very changeable within their personnel and also their system of play. So we're not quite sure how they're going to go. Obviously, they've got a few things up their sleeve, I'm sure. But we've watched, although they've lost the last 4 games, we've watched all them, and they've played some good stuff within those games. So they would deem themselves as being a bit unfortunate. And they're a good side, and they'll certainly be a big threat to us tomorrow. But again, as ever, I'm confident that as a unit, as a team, we can nullify their threats, and we'll cause anyone problems going forward.
You talked after the Brentford game of having been on a good run and now starting another good run, and it couldn't have gone any better at Brighton. So for you, how important is tomorrow night in sustaining that momentum again and getting off to another good run?
Yeah, it's always, I mean, it's it's a funny one because the way we are at the moment, I need to have sort of three views of the football club, like the real short term, which is the next game, so the maximum focus on Watford tomorrow night. Then you look at like a mid-term sort of approach to the next block of maybe 6 or 10 games, and then the longer term approach where we're going to be in a year's time. And it's I think it's important to look at all of those, but get the balance right. If you focus too heavily on just one, then you take your eye off one of the others, and you pay the price because of it. And so I'm conscious of, like I say, the main focus with that is on the next game, and that's Watford tomorrow night, and making sure we get that result. But then you're looking at a sort of a block of 6 to 10 as well, which is important. And once that one's done, you move on to the next block. But like I say, and ultimately then that's going to dictate where we're going to be in maybe a year's time. So yeah, it's getting the balance. Balance is a massive thing for me in football, within the team, within the view of how you look at the whole football club, really. That's one of the key things for me, and the way I like to work. And
that Christmas period is incredibly important, because the games come thick and fast, but also because the runners and riders do tend to present themselves come January.
Exactly. I mean, history will sort of tell us that you look at where people are around the January time, and it's certainly the guys at the top and the guys at the very bottom. There's not generally too much movement. You can get a couple of horses coming up on the rails, so to speak, with a late gallop, which is obviously what the position we're in. We're hoping to do at the moment, but I'm still looking over my shoulder as well. There's no chance of any complacency creeping in. The way we are, I've been delighted with everything, the way things have gone in general, but we're closer to the bottom than we are to the top. Simple fact. So we need to address that and start moving away from there as soon as we can.
And that starts tomorrow night. We wish you luck.
Absolutely. Thank you. Cheers.